Those who know me will know I don't often dress this smart. I was asked earlier who my tailor is. It's Hospice of Strand Street. Very, very good. Right, well, hopefully you got a decent break that time. We didn't rush you too much. And I'm pleased to say the judges have made a decision. So we're going to switch things around because we were going to have Leigh and Jodey from EcoMatch next, but we're going to do the judging results first, and then we'll go to Leigh and Jodey. So just before Jodey and Leigh, okay. Before I go to the judges for their results and their views, I've got some really good news because the prize fund has increased to £2,250. And for that, we have to thank JDH Consultancy. John Hunter is one of our trustees. Thank you, John. But you know what pleases me most about that? Again, it's not the money. It's the fact that John sat there and thought the presentations were so good that he wanted to get involved. He wants to be a dragon, really. You want to be on Dragon's Den, don't you? But no, I think that's testament to the quality of the presentations that we had today. So thank you very much for those. Right. So without further ado, who's going to be spokesperson? Alice? Oh, that's our fault, not yours. So yeah, Alice, tell us the results.
I would just like to thank all 7 community projects which made their bids. I love the passion and the inspiration behind all of them. It's made our job so hard and also so good that there are 7 bids that we want to invest money into. For me as a Twitcher, and also about the passion of well-being, growing food and building community, these are amazing projects, and I really hope that all of them obtain funding if it's not from us in the future, because they're all super worthwhile. So thank you so much. Sorry, just a bit.
Just go for it.
Okay. Sorry, I was sure. Shall I build it up? So we're going to split it into 3 prize pots. So 1,500 is going to Thiny She for the community project. I think it underpins all 5 of the UNESCO Biosphere principles. It's bringing in well-being, it's education, it's about something that I'm so passionate about as well, which is growing your own food and giving that education to young people. Amazing. So thank you so much, and I hope it's a huge success. And I would also like to speak to you later, please. And then £500 is going to the Alderney Once and Future project for the woodland. So I think it's highlighted how important areas that don't have access to funds, well, trying to give you some of the funds, hopefully that you can build on this, because I think it's just such an important thing to be restoring habitat that has become like green spaces that have lost their ecological value. So thank you so much. And then we've got £250, which has been kindly added to the prize pot, which is going to be used for equipment for Jersey marine conservation and the wellbeing spaces. The Alaman wellbeing space. So Kiri, yeah.
Outdoor Learning Centre.
Thank you. Sorry, I just typed it down wrong. I was like, well-being space. So thank you so much. I don't know what else you wanted to know, but all the projects are obviously very important, and I am a Twitcher, so I really hope that the Bird Observatory in Alderney continues. Wish I had money. So thank you all so much. And if does anyone speak, please?
I think you
Well
did
done,
a
Alice.
brilliant job there, and I think all of us were just thinking about something that we could look at in maybe 25 years' time. I think that was what it was rooted in, and opportunities for young people, and that's it.
Yeah, I would echo those sentiments that's been kind of spoken about today, and I guess it's been really nice to kind of support a project that highlights third spaces. I mean, I was just in Copenhagen the other day, and it was incredible to see how many third spaces there are for people to kind of connect, and especially if it's in nature. That's fantastic, and I think the whole idea of vocational programming is fantastic. You know, not everyone's built for a 3 or 4 year degree in a university. So thinking beyond environmental, perhaps it can be a solar technician, wind technicians, or cybersecurity certificates, that type of thing. There's a lot of avenues that we can help other people in different formats. So yeah, and congratulations to all of the presentees.
So if you'll oblige us, could I just ask the winners to come up on stage and have a photo with the judges, please? So David from the Tyne-y-Shee, Alex from Alderney Wildlife Trust, and Kerry and Greg from the Outdoor Learning Centre. Kerry and Greg. And Greg. Oh, and sorry, and Kevin from Jersey Marine. Thanks, Kevin. So give him a round of applause, folks. How do I get rid of this? Thank you very much, everyone. Right, I hope you're ready because we're now running a little bit ahead of schedule. So it gives me great pleasure to welcome my ex-boss, Leigh, and Jodey Peyton from EcoMatch to the stage.
Thank you very much, and it's such a pleasure. What an amazing day again, like 3 exceptional days in a row, and the weather to give it some atmosphere. Thank you very much, everybody, for such a fantastic time. My name is Jodey. I'm a Senior Projects and Conservation Officer at the UKOTCF Territories Conservation Forum, and I'm here with Leigh to talk about a new initiative that we're starting up called EcoMatch, and I'll hand over to Leigh to talk a bit more about that, and then I'll join him later.
We're going to double take, so she's going to chip in. We've only just met. We've been working together online for about 2.5 years. And when I met her, she went, "Why awesome."
Just as noisy.
You can see this is the comedy at the end of the 3 days. We're going to go for it. I'm going to, just in terms of the last one, I'm going to thank, because when I was working and supporting Graham as part of his committee for this event, and the Dragon's Den which was absolutely Graham's idea. Army slot. So part of the ambition was that everyone would learn from that process by hearing the feedback. Because the whole point of today is that everyone, all the charities, everyone can glean the language that they need to use to communicate with people that give funding away so that everyone leaves this room better. So for those that didn't get any of the money then, thank you for presenting. And actually, without you, there wouldn't have been a judging and there wouldn't have been a winner. And it's not, in some ways, I'm sure there are people here that don't like the competitive element of it. But you know, that's how you get your funding. And I think that's probably the first lesson from this. If you're trying to get funding for your projects, you have to realise that you're up against other people and you've got to pitch. So thank you to everyone that pitched, because without you, it would have been nothing. So what we're going to do today is we're going to tell you a little bit about eco-maps, which is a word we've dreamt up. So a bit about corporate partnerships, a bit about challenge and ambition, and then I'm going to pass to Jodey, and she's going to tell you and show you what we've set up and how you can get involved with it. So there are some, as you've heard today, there's some fantastic collaborations with corporates, and I'm not going to tell you've heard about all this today. This was really just an excuse to get a photograph of Hannah on the screen, because I've enjoyed doing that repeatedly for 5.5 years. So it's Hannah, just for you in the middle. But there are some fantastic examples, and you've heard from this. And having been involved not just in the Isle of Man, but in other jobs in Edinburgh Botanic Garden, National Land-Based College, elsewhere, trying to engage corporates and get them to fund ideas. And I generally was transformed by Jonathan Andrews when I did his course. You know, I never ask for anything now. I offer what they can get by working with me. Now that's really powerful, and it's actually bang on. So one top tip would be that. But there's some fantastic projects. You know, you've heard from Samir, who's you know, he's got the right values of a guy in Orsted that's championing nature and charities in Orsted. Lloyds Bank and Hannah and everything else that they funded here. And Aviva, imagine that, 38 million over what is a 100-year project to bring temperate rainforests back in a really, really strong community way. It's really powerful. So there's some wonderful examples. Happy days. We've finished. We haven't finished. And the reason we haven't finished is that in all my, this is an AI generated image, Graham. Are you proud of me? I've got diversity and mixed age and everything in my AI image. But what that is showing you is my acquired learning over multiple years of trying to do this. And my acquired learning is that there are corporates, that's the guys on the right, and there are environmental organisations and people, they're the people on the left. And they don't speak the same language. I've been speaking to corporates for years, and I still don't really understand what goes on in Aviva's boardroom or in Deloitte's boardroom. I don't. Now, I have to know that, because if I don't know that, I can't communicate with the audience. And after all my years of trying to do this and enthuse, no apologies for being an enthusiast, and I do it well, but sometimes you enthuse and people just look at you like, so I've learned that. And there's a real gap between environmental organisations who want funding and corporates who more and more now delightfully are employing heads of nature, heads of sustainability. They've got whole packages of funding that they want to put in because it gives them eminence, CSR, it ticks their boxes environmentally. They've got all these reasons they want to do it, and they're gagging to link up with people that can give them those outputs, but they don't really know what the environmentalists are doing. They don't really understand those conversations. So any of those charities that actually put a credible case together and put a credible pitch together they can understand, I think the doors are open. And I genuinely believe that you're not really competing against yourself, because I think there's more businesses than there are charities. And if we can collectively pitch well, then we're going to get more money for the environment and nature. And that's really important. That there's always going to be competition and little bits of degrees of difference between environmental organisations. But we are the 5% that's trying to do the great stuff. So if we can't work together, we're not going to influence the 95% that aren't in a conservation organisation. So there's a real opportunity. And I think businesses recognise that. So the challenge was, how are we going to get the conversation to happen better? Another AI generated image. So this is the ambition. The ambition is that environmental organisations gain support and funding to help their work. This is the whole point of today. And that businesses make a real positive difference to nature and the environment, and they're getting everything that they want out of the relationship. Now this, don't read it. This is not a slide I did for this. So this is my brain dump. Ali recognises this because I once passed it once and said, in your spare 5 minutes when you're not doing 3,000 other jobs, can you just turn that into an infographic for me? And that was before we had, now I can stick it in ChatGPT, I guess, but I haven't. What this is was my brain dump on where I saw the situation. So at the top in the back, we've got corporates. At the bottom, we've got environmental organisations. And then it was done in a very Isle of Man context. So where it's got Manx government, you could substitute any government. where it's got Manx National Farmers Union and countryside organisations, you could put any in there. And then in the middle, the aspiration was to come up with an online dating platform, a place where a safe space where corporates and environmental charities could pitch to each other, showcase, say the sort of things they were interested in supporting, and a place where they could all come together. So that was the ambition. And then I sit on the council. You all know my day job with the Wildlife Trust, which is fantastic. Thank you again for employing me. And I also sit on the council of the UK Overseas Territories Conservation Forum. So a little bit of an advert for us. That is the umbrella organisation for conservation organisations that are in the Crown dependencies, plural, Channel Islands, etc., and all the 16 or 14, depending on how you classify them, UK Overseas Territories. So there's some real challenges in those. 95% of UK's biodiversity is in the territories and the Crown dependencies. And so UKOTCF is a membership organisation for all those organisations. So if you're here now and you're in a Crown dependency and you're not in it and you're an organisation, it'd be lovely to get you all in. Affiliate membership. I get shot for saying this. You can become an affiliate member, just join us and join the meetings and join the European meetings. And it's a fantastic forum for sharing knowledge and for learning from each other. So that exists, but those islands, and there's pressures on the UK funding for the UKOTs now with the sword of Damocles potentially hanging over the biodiversity Darwin Challenge funds. So there's an issue about how do we protect that 95% of biodiversity. So I then approached my colleagues, Catherine and Mike and Jodey at UKOTCF and said, how do we create an eHarmony for nature? What do you think of the idea of doing that? You can see I was enthusiastic when I pitched that to them. But delightfully, I'm now going to hand over to Jodey, who's going to tell you what happened next.
Leigh. Great. So this, as Leigh says, he proposed to Catherine and Mike, but also a chap called Robin Clough, who works in private industry, and it's based on sort of over almost 40 years of conservation and collaboration with the overseas territories and the Crown dependencies. And as Leigh says, he's recognised the opportunity to bring passions together. Like there's a lot of, like you've seen today, there's a lot of passion and a lot of motivation to support the environment from business. And obviously, the conservation world is full of amazing people trying to, making an actual difference, and that can make even more of an amazing difference if they had a bit more money. We wanted to make a simple, like not too onerous, like we've all done application forms, I'm sure they are pages and pages. We wanted to make something simple, like a short profile, basically, like just to show your wares, basically, show your conservation wares. We want to link up the amazing people that want to help nature and the amazing people who want to support nature in other ways. As Leigh mentioned, there's over 95% of the UK's biodiversity is held in the overseas territories and Crown dependencies. They're incredible places. They host, as you all know, many of some of the world's rarest habitats and species. There's lots of endemism around the territories and Crown dependencies. We wanted to deliver environmental outputs and build a sort of a community that is resilient for a sustainable future, because as we know, things are changing and they're changing quite rapidly on islands, as you also know. There's a lot of threats, a lot of pressures, and a lot of opportunity to do some really great things. So the website, it's still a kind of draft. We're it's there, we've got projects, but we're building on it. We would love feedback and ideas about how we can make this really useful to everybody. They say there's two parts, like you're either looking for a project funding or you've got funding that you want to give. And that's, hopefully lots of people have got funding they want to give. As I say, it is really short. It's a short application form. You just fill it in, and then we'll create a page for you to then the business can actually look at, or vice versa. We want to also with this project want to say if it's trying to support any targets like any sustainable development goals or CBD targets, anything like that as well. So we're just trying to get some almost like keywords about what your project will be wanting to deliver. For businesses, you can either peruse the website or you can also set up your own profile, so then the conservation funders can come and find you. We've got quite a few projects at the moment, and it's actually being nicely displayed over here with the seagrass, very nice. But we want more, obviously. We want to kind of add your work and hopefully, just find you the money that can keep you doing the amazing things that you're already doing. So with that, I'll hand over to Leigh again.
one of the key things that I've learned in dealing with corporates is that they're professional businesses. And it's not that they don't have money to give, but they want to be very confident that if they give it, something's going to happen. So there is an element of professionalism needed in what a charity does to show that the money is going to be spent exactly how it's been gifted, and it's going to be useful. So that, if you like, high integrity way of delivering is really important. And you don't need to be an expert to be, you just need a few top tips and a little bit of a steer. But one of the things that we're hoping for the Crown Dependencies and UKOTs is that UKOTCF is the gatekeeper, because it's a platform that we control. We're going to be that assurance for any corporates that approach the site, that they'll know that those projects and those organisations have already been scanned by probably Catherine and Jodey. I'll probably have dodged that one, but UKOTCF will gatekeep them. So there's a level of quality assurance then that any projects that are on that website will be reputable, and we're saying that they could be funded. It's not suddenly a gateway to money. Not everyone's suddenly going to start lashing cash, but it is a place where we're hoping will grow quite quickly as a trusted place where people feel that, as Jodey says, it's not an onerous thing to put the project, the goals that you're hoping to achieve, and the key things on there with the sort of funds that you're looking for, because that can be then shared. It can be shared in certain, Dominic can share it to his whole Climate Collective group. There's ways that would get around, and I feel confident that there will be some bites, because people want to work with people that are in this room. So that's the ambition. So we'd really like to get some buy-in, some support, and as Jodey said again, some feedback on this, because it was very interesting this morning in the session that Sarah and colleagues, where we were all chatting and mixing together. The thread of digital appeared numbers of times. Not quite in this context, but it was almost, we need digital solutions. We need a way to join dots up. How can we do that? And actually, this is almost aligning with that thinking that was coming out from the session earlier with the Biosphere Youth Group. And we don't think this is done. So actually, if people look at it and think, it'd be better if they changed that, please tell us. Because we really want this. And actually, what would be gold dust would be people working for corporate businesses to look at it and tell us. Because ultimately, we want to have the criteria that absolutely resonate with the businesses and the people that are looking to fund and support projects, so that it makes it really quick and simple for anyone with a project to put that on. Now, imagine if we'd come up with a tested and proved model and script and shared it with all the 7 people that bid on Dragon's Den, or we shared it with one of them. There's a whole social science project there, isn't there? Imagine if we'd done this presentation back of house with one of those that didn't get funding and revved them up to be on point with the key message. Maybe they would have won. Maybe. And I think that's the toolkit that I think we're trying to create. Don't hide at the back now. Come on. I'm going to pass to you now to help you about QR codes and bits and bobs. You can scan, aren't they? They're in. Please have a look. The ambition is that this grows. It has been set up initially for UKOTCF members, but if you can become an affiliate member if you're in one of the islands straight away. We'd just love to get you in the club and get you in those conversations anyway. So why wouldn't you? And then it means that we can gatekeep what goes on the platform. And then we build it up, and we show it, and as more traffic's on there, more people will use it as a place where you can go and actually get insight. And if there are a few businesses in here that would actually like to upload a little profile themselves of the sort of project, there's no committing. You don't have to say you're going to definitely write a check, but just to show that you're interested in working and the sort of projects that you'll be interested in would be gold dust to those environmental organisations who are writing their pitches. So I think we're done. We're ahead of time, so we've got some time for questions. Anything else you'd like to add?
Thank you, Leigh. Ooh, I'll decide if you've got time for questions. We've got time for questions.
That was a really good talk, thank you. I think that sounds like a really positive project that could work really well for all of those UK territories. I think my question would be, have you considered how to promote maybe down in the Channel Islands, and if there's any help that we could offer that side, then I'd be happy to do so.
We're going to do it together. We're going to answer together. But yeah, so part of the UKOTCF Territories Conservation Forum. It's an unfortunate name because it also includes the Crown dependencies. But I think Mike can talk more to this. But we have 3 working groups, and one of the regional working groups is the European Territories Working Group, and that includes the Channel Islands, the Isle of Man. It includes it, obviously Cyprus, Gibraltar. But yeah, so it would be but support would be amazing, and yes, it'd be really good to have to talk with you about how we can promote it further. But yeah, that would be great.
So you're a member. Did you know that? Did you know that? You did know that. Good. Yeah. And the reason we're launching this is being launched today because it's a place for Crown dependencies to be. The fact that we've got Amdeep and others who also have more of a UKOT interest is a bonus. But in effect, we're launching it for the Crown dependencies first. You've got first dibs on this because at the UKOTCF conference that you heard about this morning in October, we're going to do the same pitch again. But you guys have already jumped the gun because we're telling the Crown dependencies first.
Thank you. How is the platform funded, and will it capture outputs, or is that for the partners to work out themselves?
Currently, it's funded on a shoestring because I'm pro bono and they're fitting it in. And Catherine created the website, and it's there. And I think going forward, the model for UKOTCF is a small percentage just to cover the admin charge of getting things on, but it will be only that to cover the admin charge because there's 2 part-time people. It's a fantastic organisation. It's a membership club for all the conservation bodies, but they've got 2 part-time staff and a load of volunteers. So there does need to be a little bit of that, but it's small beans. The crux of this is as much money as possible can get to the islands and the territories is the goal, is the vision.
Got time for 2 more quick questions. So Amanda.
Absolutely love this concept. It's such a great idea, and from someone that isn't a business with lots of money to spend and just a general member of the public, have you ever thought about combining this with some kind of crowdsource funding? Because I would have loved to go on the platform and give like the random £10 that I could give my children for Christmas to a specific project.
So I don't have anything to say other than that, so that would be amazing. But I think Catherine would say probably more to speak to that. Do you want to? Yes.
Come on, Catherine.
I think that's a brilliant idea, and I think we could do something with that as well. If there's, it's just, yeah, I think that's a great idea. Individuals as well as
just supporting other Crown dependencies. That I'd love to do that. I'm sure many other people would as well. And the only other thing that I thought was, I'm sure there's kind of local government schemes, and possibly not everyone knows about, but whether that could feature on there as well, of linking those small project ideas to any kind of local government schemes as well. And that's because of
we're really hoping that this grows. It's not completely unique. If you serve, there are a couple of similar schemes actually that are launched there with projects online. If you search them, but we're certainly unique in it being focused around Crown dependencies and UKOTs. And there are some other differences is that we're giving the businesses, or let's say the funders, whatever you are, private individuals, trust funds, whatever, you could put a profile on there as well. So, and it's completely non-competitive. So that's hopefully one of its USPs.
It's a comment really, Mike Biankowski, who tries to be responsible for some of these. Can I just offer an apology that the forum did start off with the overseas territories, and then we very much welcomed the Crown dependencies saying we'd like to be involved too. But then they said to us, look, your name's long enough. You don't have to add Crown dependencies because it's just getting unmanageable. But there's no discrimination. It's overseas territories and Crown dependencies. They're all involved in this organisation. Thank you.
Leigh, Jodey. We're nearly there, folks. Don't worry. Right, in a moment, I'm going to ask the Chief Minister to come up and give our closing remarks. So I just want to say a few things before we all disappear at the end of the session. Practical thing, first of all, We want to reuse these. We're all about sustainability. There is a plastic tray on the stairs on the way out. Please put your badges in there. And if you can't see that, give it to a member of staff or something like that to reuse those. I just want to say a big thank you to my team, Carmel, her team. Can we just have a round of applause for I have thrown all sorts of crap at them over the last few days, and they've just done it wonderfully. So thank you to them. I hope you all have a really safe journey home. We will see you all in Guernsey, hopefully, next year. And just thank you to you all for making the effort to come to the Isle of Man and for making this a really wonderful event. And so with that, I would like to welcome our Chief Minister, Alfred, Cannan, MHK. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Graham, and a real pleasure to be here. You can tell that I haven't been at the whole conference because I'm wearing a tie and a shirt, and I definitely didn't get this at Hospice shop down the road. I want to say thank you to you all for coming to the Inter-Island Environment meeting over the last 3 days, and on behalf of you all, I want to thank the meeting sponsors for this conference: Visit Isle of Man, Taxa Genomics, Appleby, Conister Bank and Lloyds Bank International, as well as the Manx Wildlife Trust and the Villa Marina for hosting this week. I think they've done a fantastic job, don't you? Don't we give them a quick round? And I want to say just very quickly how impressed I've been this afternoon in my short time here with the passion and commitment you've all demonstrated, and I've clearly picked up from speaking to a few of you how much you've enjoyed this conference. I was listening obviously to some of the closing remarks we've just heard about the interaction between the environment and the passion that you share and the work that you do and business. And I think Leigh said he didn't know what goes on in AXA's boardroom. None of us really know what goes on in AXA's boardroom. But what I do know is that right now, the work that you're doing and the passion that you have is a passion and commitment that is reflecting in many ways across society. But it's just that some people have specialisms and focuses and perhaps don't have the time that they want to do to commit to some of the projects and the work that you are doing. But fundamentally, it is no longer the case that environmentalism and environmental work and biosphere sit separate from the rest of our commitments as a society and as a community, and working together and coming together and focusing and understanding of how to work together to achieve the best for our society as a whole and to leave behind a better place and a better environment is so now much to the fore in people's thinking, that the role that you are playing and that you're doing is one that I know is appreciated and valued right across the community. So I just want to say thank you for everything that you are doing and the passions that you have for building your environments, looking after your communities, and of course at the very heart of all this are people. And I think we all, if we recognise that from business, from agriculture, from environment, from politics, right through, if we put people at the heart of what we do, I know that we can all succeed and find the right pathways through to leave behind the right environment for us all, for the next generation to build on. Now, I know that many of you have travelled here from the Channel Islands and beyond to attend this meeting, and I hope that you've all enjoyed your time on the Isle of Man, sharing and hearing about the work across the British Islands to conserve our island for future generations. And indeed, this year I know marks a significant milestone, 25th anniversary, I believe, of the Inter-Islands Environment meeting, and indeed the first time that the Isle of Man and the Manx Wildlife Trust have hosted this important event. And indeed, I recognise the Inter-Islands Environment meeting as a commendable achievement for an event that brings together the individuals and organisations eager to share knowledge and experiences, ensuring that we can make that positive impact. Now, for a quarter of a century, this gathering has united, I think, the islands across the British Isles and beyond, fostering a spirit of collaboration that is more now vital than ever. As you have met here on the Isle of Man, the world's only whole nation UNESCO Biosphere Reserve, we are reminded that our shared challenges, biodiversity loss, climate change, and the need for resilient communities, can only be met through partnership and collective action. Meetings and conferences such as this one are immensely valuable to all delegates and stakeholders involved. And I think, as I've just been talking about, by bringing public, private, and third sectors together, we can learn best practice from each other in a collegiate way. We can foster conditions whereby people and the environment can thrive together. I know that you will have heard throughout this event on the Isle of Man, we are all immensely proud of being the world's only whole nation UNESCO Biosphere Reserve since our designation in 2016. This achievement would not have been possible without many of the people that have been present throughout this meeting, but most importantly, without the support of our island's community. And as a biosphere nation, we recognise and celebrate the island's natural beauty and biodiversity, unique culture and heritage, resilient economy, and our community that can work together and collaborate to find new and improved ways of working with nature to create a sustainable future. Now, we are pleased to be able to welcome another fellow biosphere island this week with representatives from the Isle of Wight. In the spirit of collaboration for greater impact, we hope to work with other nations considering biosphere accreditation, and in one day, I hope, welcome them to the family of biosphere reserves. We are truly stronger when we work together. As I mentioned earlier, I believe it is vital to realise the potential and harness opportunities through positive partnership with the goal of supporting conservation and the environment as a whole. Now, I know, as I said from my conversations, it's clear to me how much that partnership is valued through the Isle of Man and beyond, with contributions from government, community groups, and individuals alike. It is this shared commitment that must give us all hope that we can continue to build the momentum necessary and translate our ideas into action and ambition in order to have a lasting impact for our natural environment. And with this in mind, I know the agenda this week has showcased the breadth and depth of environmental work taking place across our islands, from data recording and monitoring, such as the innovative eDNA surveys of freshwater species, to the restorations of peatlands and seagrass habitats. Each session, I'm sure, will have demonstrated the commitment and the innovation within our communities. And as we look ahead to the future, let us carry forward the momentum that has been generated here this week. The relationships forged, the knowledge shared, and the commitments made during this meeting, I know can be realised into action. Whether through community-led conservation, scientific research, business engagement, or from a political level, we all have a vital role to play to ensure that our islands have a sustainable future. Can I say again, I would like to thank each and every one of you for your dedication and commitment to preserving our environment. Your participation and contributions have made this event an outstanding success. Let us continue to work together, share our knowledge, and inspire one another to create a better, more sustainable future for us all. Thank you again for coming along and attending this meeting over the last 3 days, and I wish you all a very safe journey home.
That's it. You can all go home now. Thanks very much, Alf. Thank you all for coming. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'm really looking forward to next year in Guernsey. Thank you.